night. Lights are low. Let the crew assemble, know what time it is. Mike D! Hooray! Yo, it's a Thursday vibe, time to plug in the crew. Holly and the bros, yeah, we're coming through. Sweet but spunky, that's Holly on the rise. Sharp wit, quick flips, fire spark in her eyes. Josh got the wisdom like a preacher on the mic. Dropping knowledge bombs, keeping everything tight. Caleb's the giant, gentle hand, steady flow. Big heart, calm voice, always ready to go.
You are the wild card, so enter the stream. We are spinning stories that makes your brain dream. Carrying the folks, we're taking over the show. On YouTube and X, every Thursday we flow. Talking sports, politics, wrestling, crypto, 2, 3. Best friends, bring your real talk to you. Carrying the folks, yeah, we're rising high. Tune in, turn up, let the good times fly. From the sweet to the spunky, from the wise to the bold. This podcast fire, every story told.
Like a firecracker pop, sweet smile with a bite, never gonna stop. Josh breaks it down like a scholar in the zone. Every word he drops feels like a cornerstone. Caleb's giant presence, calm as ocean tide. Gentle giant's wisdom, always on your side. We always dive deep where shadows play, pulling up the secrets that you never saw today.
It's more than just talk, it's a family vibe. Three voices united on this Thursday ride. From crypto highs to wrestling rings, politics and sports and all the wild things. They laugh, they keep it so real. Holly and the bros, that's the deal. Holly and the bros, we're taking over the show. On YouTube and X, every Thursday we flow. Talking sports, politics, wrestling, crypto, 2, 3. Best friends, bring your real talkie. Holly and the bros, yeah, we're rising high. Tune in, turn up, let the good times fly. From the sweet to the spunky, from the wise to the bold. This podcast fire, every story told. So get ready to listen, to laugh and to learn. Every Thursday's a chance for the tables to turn. How this fire ignites, Josh's wisdom guides.
Kings, calm, steadies, our light never hide. From crypto coins flipping to the wrestling ring score. From politics balance to the sports fan score. They cover it all with style and flair. Holly and the pros, nothing else compares.
So hit that subscribe, don't miss a beat. Holly and the bros, bring the heat. On YouTube and X, every Thursday night. Tune in, join in for the freshest insight.
Three friends, one crew, one podcast flow. This is Holly and the bros on the mic. Let's go!
Five, four, three, two, one.
I forgot to mute everybody.
Well,
There we go. Now we're back. Officially, we're back.
Oh my
There's always something I got to remember to click. This program is actually used StreamYard to stream our podcast, and it's actually a really cool program. But they update something every week, and I only log on just a couple minutes before we get started, and I don't take time to read everything they update. So, yeah. But shout out to those guys. They do a good job with their program. They make it a lot easier for us to come on the air every week. So we have a lot to talk about. Not all good, but we have a lot to talk about. But before we do,
yes.
update.
Oh, we like
10 people care if Josh is still alive or not. Just so you know, not 7, 10.
10
So
carats.
you guys underestimated the count. 10 people liked the video today, so 10 people would actually care. Of course, I was one of them, so really it's just 9.
Oh,
But it's
yeah.
still over 7.
Mm,
So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah.
So did anything happen this week? I mean, was it pretty quiet in the news? No,
Nothing happened.
nothing.
nothing.
Podcast over. Just we're gonna be done.
That's it.
All right, let's start here.
Wrap it up.
Let's start with what we saw from the our attorney general Mrs. Pam Bondi.
That
Because-
Bondi broad.
That Bondi broad. I think you should copyright that phrase, by the way.
Let me tell you something. I don't know. Okay, so I mean, in all honesty, I didn't know much about her. I've seen, both sides saying, oh, she's great. And then I've seen people, oh, she's horrible. I never had an
Same.
opinion. Never. Well, myself worked from home yesterday and I decided, I'm going to watch her, go in front of Congress and see how this all goes. Holy shit. That's like the only words that I can say because I am flabbergasted. Now, it was very frustrating because everybody was kind of talking over each other and they would ask her a question and she would try to respond. And then they were like, no, I want my time back. No,
Yeah.
I want my time back. And so it was so much, but the crap that was coming out of her mouth was legitimately mind blowing to me. Specifically, they asked her to face the survivors and just apologize for not doing anything, not meeting with these survivors. Like that's mind blowing all in itself. When they asked who's all met with the DOJ or had an interview, every single one of them put their hands up saying, no, they haven't contacted them, nothing.
It's crazy.
And she reminds me very much of a female version of Trump. I'm just going to say it. She is, and I think that's one of the reasons he appointed her is because he was going to have this lady who is going to be his bulldog, who's just like him, and she's pretty, and he's actually said that out loud that she was a good looking woman, and she
He didn't
deserves.
say broad. He said woman.
Yeah, he should have said broad.
Yeah.
Damn it. But all I kept thinking was, who is this Bondi broad? Like, and that is why I can't say her name without using Bondi broad because she is, I can't even call her a lady because she's crazy. She's
Ladies can't be crazy.
not like
Not like that.
you're in that position. No, you're not.
No, I agree.
I mean, you can tell 100% it was literally her defending Trump the entire time. And so I feel like she was kind of a little puppet doing all the dirty hard work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like her. I don't like her. But again, I don't like any of them. I don't care what side they're on. I don't like them. Any of them.
Yeah, and I think the most disappointing thing that came out of it for me was the fact that they'd asked if who had talked to and they all raised their hand and they were like, no. I mean, how do you have this whole process and you haven't talked to the actual victims? That just seemed crazy to me.
Yeah.
But the other part of that whole thing was it was like a 7th grade lunchroom, the way that supposedly the leaders of our country and the attorney general are talking to one another. I don't know about you, but I've been in positions in life where I've had to manage groups of people. And I know you have too. But I just mean people out there that are audience. I don't know if you've been in that spot, but it's not easy, right? You have to think about a lot of different things, but you 100% of the time will lose your audience when you start screaming at them.
Yeah.
You cannot, in a setting like that, start screaming at someone.
Yeah, when you start yelling or start like using profanity, the argument is over. You have lost because you cannot defend something without making a scene or what I call theatrics. And that is exactly what happened the entire time. The entire time. And it was on both, the people asking her the questions, they were just as bad as she was. It was so much deflection that, on both sides, it was deflection after deflection. And really, she didn't answer anything.
They never do.
Yeah.
Those hearings are some of the worst things ever. I swear. They never answer the question.
Yeah.
They just dance around it the entire time.
Walking circles.
That's a politician for you.
I
Yeah.
hate the word politician because that's exactly what I associate it to. These people are supposed to be representing the ones that voted them into office, and they represent no one but themselves. They don't really, I don't think, care about anyone but themselves and the other people in the same position. They're all protecting one another from all these different things. We saw horrific things that we can't actually even say on this podcast because YouTube and it will be taken down. Now you can type some things and you can put a little asterisk instead of spelling it all the way out, and then that flies. But when you actually have the audio of it saying certain words, your stuff gets pulled pretty quick. And so we can't say it, but everyone, I think, has at least had some exposure to what was in these files. And it is horrific. And both sides act like they don't care because I think they're both covering for each other.
It 100% is. If people actually think that they're actually at odds within that, you're insane. This is all a ploy. And here's the thing is I really want everybody on here to watch this show called The Why Files, specifically one over PSYOPs. And holy crap, is that happening right now? And there's like different points on this, a certain scale of what makes it a PSYOP. And I can't even this one is probably at the 100% it is, or they're attempting to try it. But the difference now is I've seen a whole lot of people opening their eyes to what is really happening and what has been happening for decades. And I mean, last night, like an asshole, I started looking, and I'm really disappointed in myself. I wish I would have never started looking at the images that were on the DOJ.
Oh yeah, I won't.
Yeah, I think it made me lose sleep last night. Seeing the things that I saw with children, I can't even, I wish I would have never looked, but I wanted to see if what people were saying was on there was real. And it is real. And if it's not, like, Donald Trump, President Trump came out and said, oh, it's a hoax. They better go after the person who made these files up, because if you can think of creating documents like this and images like this, there is something freaking wrong with you. And that is just the truth. And I have no words. I can't believe I saw what I saw.
Yeah.
And you can't unsee it. That's just all there is to it. And I just cannot believe that there is that much evil within this group of elites that should be protecting the regular people. Where is it? Because they're actually capturing these regular people. And, and the one thing that really stuck with me is Bondi said, we need to make America safe again. The only way to make America safe again is to go after the Americans who are trafficking or stealing, I will say, other Americans. Not only that, I mean, it's worldwide, but you want to talk about Americans, we're not safe. It's not, and I guess I just never would have thought that this is what's happening. Corruption, stealing money. Okay, I can believe that. But this is a whole nother level of evil that I really thought that, it was just movies. And to come to find out, all those movies probably came from things that are happening in our world.
True.
Yeah, I feel like those movies sometimes are just a ploy to desensitize us to what's actually that's happening, that they figure we're going to find out at some point, and not really entertainment like we always thought it was, but the things that showed up in those files, we've never even seen some of that stuff in movies. And I learned a long time ago, and I'm with you because my curiosity gets the best of me sometimes, but I learned a long time ago that there are certain things that you cannot unsee. And so whenever that sort of stuff pops up, the written word doesn't seem to affect me as much as the visual, like pictures and things. So I'll stick to the written word especially when it comes to children. I don't need to see it. But
you don't. But the thing is like, so now instead of arguing with people who are like, oh, those aren't real, I just tell them, please go look yourself.
Yeah.
Please go look, and then come back to me and try to like tell me that there isn't something wrong. And I'm not this, we all pretty much shared the same post. And it's funny because Josh and I saw it literally at the same time, posted it literally at the same time. And it is not about politics. And I wish people would understand that and really let you sink in. It is our system. It is us versus the system that is currently happening. It is both sides. I mean, there's pictures of Bill Clinton, and it's just so many people. It's almost like this circle of elite people are part of some weird ass cult that other people get brought in and can't really be taken out, because if you start, you see what's going on and then you come and like whistle blow, your life is over. Regardless if it's they, get rid of you or they bash you so bad and make up all these lies about you that nobody wants to work with you, your life is over for a lot of these people. And that's really sucky. But at what point are you going to set that aside and start saying, okay, this is what I know, and if it ruins me, it ruins me because it's for other people? That's what I can't understand. I can't understand why all these Instagram famous people who actually have a voice are not talking about it at all.
Yeah.
At all. And it's because they're in there. The Kardashians, for instance, they're in there. Why haven't they came out and said anything? TMZ Harvey Levin is all over that shit. And guess what? He's more focused on getting emails from some whatever for a lady who it got stolen and whatever. Like, I understand, like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I believe TMZ has something to do with this.
Yeah, directly or indirectly, I would agree with that 100%.
Kidnapping is a distraction. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it, one way or another.
Yeah,
and I have my outcome on what, if she's brought back, it's going to tie to an illegal alien. If she is deceased, it's going to tie to a legal alien. That is what it is. And it sucks that it's here in Arizona. Really sucks.
Yeah. Well, you bring up a lot of good points. So let's go back to some of the things that you brought up, because these are the people that we have that are governing us, and their ultimate responsibility is supposed to be for our better good and for our protection, like you said. But make America safe again. 99% of the people would feel safe if the people that are in charge weren't in charge anymore, because they're saying, people are saying different things like, if we knew everybody that was on the list and the whole system would fail. With the things I saw going on in the Epstein Files, the system needs to fail. And even if that is a rebuilding process that we can't even understand, there is so much evil in the world that needs to be overcome, that if that means starting over again with our government and having to figure it out as we go, so be it, because that is insane. I did want to read the tweet that you referenced, because it's pretty short, but it's very, very truthful. The one that you said that we both posted. It says, it's not a Republican versus Democrat anymore. It's the people versus the system. They tax us, surveil us, control us, abuse us, regardless of who's in office. They need you fighting left versus right, so you never unite against them. Stop fighting each other. Start fighting the true enemy, which is 100%. That's why you and I think, saw it roughly the same time, and we posted it exactly the same time. Because as long as they keep dividing us on matters where they can put left versus right And we have this idolization of politicians for some reason. And no matter what the politician I voted for did, I have to support him no matter what. Those times have got to be over, because those people do not care about us. And you're right. The ones that actually do try to say something, they get silenced really, really fast, whether it's, threats, whether it's their livelihood, whether they have, maybe they partook in some of the things that were going on. And so they get blackmailed. But I would say too, do you think just because Jeffrey Epstein got arrested and is no longer on this planet, okay, well, we don't even have to get in whether that's really happened or what. Okay, we will talk about that a little bit later because it kind of ties into your distractions too. But you think they just stopped doing that?
No,
It's still going on.
Right. People like that just don't stop.
No, I don't think they can stop. I think it's so evil. They have to feed the beast. And without that, I think they would just completely implode on themselves.
Right.
So it's still happening. Why? That's part of the reason why I think it's so secretive, because, and they want, and the way that they're covering each other, because none of them want it to stop. Are there some innocent people in our government in DC? Yes, I would say there are innocent people. Surely not everyone has participated in what's going on, but they are so scared, even those innocent people, when it comes to that. They may not be innocent in other areas, but they're so scared of the consequences of exposing the names that they would rather continue the status the same moving forward, instead of bringing these people to justice and stopping this evil.
All in itself.
It is.
Because I feel like if you even have an inkling that something is off, something's wrong, and you don't go back, but you're on that list, why is everybody freaking lying? Why are they? Oh, I've never been there. I don't know him. I never met him. And then it comes out, oh, here's a picture.
Yeah. Or you're listed 100 times in the files. Now, we should say too, because I think this gets overlooked a little bit. Sometimes people can be listed in a file like that because maybe they were a witness, okay? Or maybe they were testifying for something or describing something they knew. Maybe they had made a phone call. Maybe it doesn't necessarily always mean, but come on, if your name is in those files 1,000 times, there's got to be more going on than anybody's ever going to admit to.
You know what's crazy about this is, so, everybody knows at this point that I have been linked to a lot of freaking scammers. And by linked, I mean, I've met them in person. I've seen them. So they automatically, there was people out there automatically assumed that I had something to do with the shit that they were doing. And I even got contacted by some guy named Bootsy. I'm not even I don't even know if anybody really knows him, but he's like a CoffeeZilla kind of dude.
Yeah, but he's not around anymore, right? I haven't seen him in forever.
For a while.
Yeah.
And he actually contacted me and was grilling me. What do you know about? And this, at the time, it was Grove, because I was in a picture with a whole bunch of people at a table. And he automatically assumed that I knew. And it didn't matter what I said. I don't know. We didn't talk any business, any token, nothing. We just had good conversation. It didn't matter what I told him. He didn't believe me. Because there is pictures, me linked up with these people. Chase Coleman was another one that enhanced. Another one, they are convinced I knew everything they were doing. Safemoon. I just got hammered by some little kid called Moon Matt, convinced that I had something to do all of this because I believed in Safemoon.
Yeah, because you got scammed. You had something to do with it.
Right. Because I got scammed, because I had pictures with all the Safemoon people. I got to meet them. I got to go to headquarters, all that stuff. I automatically am assumed that they gave me all this inside information because I've met them, and I can honestly say that no, I didn't. The only information that I got, I released out to everybody. You can believe me or not, they are filing bankruptcy. I was the first one to come out and say that because I knew something was wrong. but it doesn't matter. Like, there are people that just will not believe any different. But how many pictures were there of me? Like 5?
Maybe.
But there's thousands, if not millions, of mentions or pictures or of other people, and yet they still don't believe. These same people still don't believe.
Those same people would never believe, even though it is 100% the truth, that when things started to get real shady, we reached out to Mr. Caroni several times to get him on this actual podcast. And he kept telling us, hey, I can't do it now. There was always an excuse, until the point where he just quit answering our DMs. But people think that because we invested our money and got scammed ourselves, that especially you had something to do with it. And it's just ridiculous.
I never worked for them. They
No,
never paid
never.
me a dime. I swear, I put that on everything I love. I was never, ever paid by
Mhm.
anybody from Safemoon. If anything, I was paying with my own money to do giveaways of Safemoon to bring it to light. I never, ever got paid. But
When you
some
when you
people
got
just
the
believe it.
when you got the opportunity to go to Utah and go to the headquarters and stuff, did they pay for you to go out there?
No,
No.
no.
There was literally, I can say this with a clear conscience, no money ever exchanged hands.
Ever.
And we actually, if you would go back, and I would suggest not to do this because it would take forever, because I was going to go back and look when the tone changed.
Mhm.
But there's so many videos on our page right now. It's like
Yeah.
really hard to single it out. You can tell where we were like, hey, listen, this doesn't sound right. This isn't right. We don't know enough to like completely come out and say
Mhm.
XYZ, but pay real careful attention to what's happening. And we'd come on and then we'd get some details and we'd report on them.
All the time. I
Every
was
time.
always transparent when it came to SafeMoon. I can honestly say that I did not believe the things that they were doing behind the scenes that we now know are fact.
Mhm.
I didn't believe it. I really, really didn't. And I just, that kid, in all honesty, I think he's sad because I give him zero attention.
Yeah, I
I'm
think he
just
is
gonna
too.
throw that out there. He hates that I will not engage with him, so he tries to poke. And if you notice, my answers were very short,
Mhm.
very short. And okay, I feel the same way about you. Okay, whatever you want to say, like no big deal. And the craziest thing to me is the people who knew me. James came out of all the people and said,
Mhm.
"What are you talking about?
Mhm.
This is insane." And then he said about our podcast how we don't talk about that.
Mhm.
We don't. It's like we really don't. For the longest time, we didn't talk about Bruno.
No.
Mhm.
And after today, I don't really expect to talk much about Bruno again, to
We
be
don't need
honest with you. No,
We
and,
don't
and I do
need
appreciate
to.
if James is watching, heads or thanks, James. I have got to the point in my life where I'm kind of like Holly, where when things like that explode on X and social media, when it's just keyboard warrior stuff, that
Yeah.
I'll thank the people that stick up for us. But like Holly's family, and she knows where we stand. And I'm not gonna. I think it's pointless to engage in that kind of stuff.
Can't do it.
And so I thank James. I just said, hey, thanks for the support, James. As always, appreciate you. And that's it. I'm not going to give people like Moon Matt the time of the day anymore. But
He's like,
back to kind of what we were talking about, though. Excuse me. Let's just jump into like our last piece of information about Safemoon, and then we can close the book on that thing and burn it.
Yeah.
The sentencing came out for
Yeah.
John. He got 8 years. Now I'm sure there's going to be some appeals. I don't know exactly what the next step will be. He's never going to admit guilt, so eventually he'll serve jail time, because I went back and was reading some stuff that the prosecution had against him, and then what the judge said during the that I don't care what he appeals, he's not getting off of this thing. So
did you notice the part? Did you call in?
I did not call in. I got extremely busy that day with some other phone calls, and had no opportunity.
So I got to, and luckily, like at first I didn't get to, but it was so delayed. I guess the judge was late or something.
Yeah, it was late. I actually had to sign
Yeah.
off of the space before the judge even showed up because of
Oh,
everything
okay.
going on. So
I actually got to listen to the half, and there was a part where the judge actually says you showed no remorse.
mhm.
Hmm.
He just flat
He's
out
not
told us
wrong.
he showed no remorse. And I was like, finally, it's somebody other than all of us, that are against John for doing what he did. Somebody outside was able to see there was zero remorse.
Yeah.
Zero. And then
Like-
after that, for him to come out and tweet, this is what the appeal process is for because they got it wrong.
Mhm.
I am innocent. But do you think there was an apology? I'm
No.
sorry, you guys, for whoever got hurt. No.
Heck
Mm-mm.
no.
And I never really like re-quote any of his posts. Like, if anything, I'll kind of talk shit and not really say anything. I had to because I was so pissed off over his tweet that I had to say something because
Mhm.
there was just zero remorse. And I feel like his sentencing would have been less had if he showed just a tad of being apologetic to what happened to these victims. But there was zero.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I hope not, but possibly. It would be nice to see some remorse when somebody knows that they've screwed up and you got caught. Then what are you supposed to do? Pay the time, do the time, and serve it. Be humble about it. Apologize to some people, and eventually it'll be forgotten. But
I hope
here's the weird thing about his appeal. I think he's got his ego is so huge that I think he actually thinks he's going to win because
I do.
if I'm his age, knowing where I'm at now in life, I don't want to push this out any further. I want to serve the time, get out, continue my life. You keep pushing this out for a couple more years. I mean, you're going to be 40 years old before you get out of prison.
Well, here's my question is, do we know when he has to go? Does he get to file his appeals and then if he gets them all blocked, then go? Because I feel like there's some people that appeal while they're in jail.
Well, they're serving, yeah.
The papers and all that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know if he can serve and then because I would do that. I could see appealing. Why not appeal if you're already in jail? But then, if you lose your appeal, maybe you've already served 2 years of your sentence.
He has to go check himself in on May 29th. That's still too freaking long.
Yeah, as long as this took May 29th is way too long. But thanks for that info, Rudy, because I did not catch that. I actually looked for it a little bit, got distracted, and then forgot to go back to it. But yeah, I don't know. I've just never met anybody that was as thought so highly of himself as that guy who actually has never really done anything. I kind of sometimes can understand. Let's just, I don't know, a guy like Elon Musk, if he had that kind of ego, okay, well, that dude has done stuff that no one in this world has ever done. I can kind of get it, I kind of get it when the best sports stars out there have a little bit of an ego because nobody else is going to hit 50 home runs or whatever it may be. Right. But John Corona, you have done nothing. And then when you make these stupid tweets, you only make it to people that you follow that can comment on it, or you don't allow comments at all. That shows me all I need to know about your character. You have zero character. And I am done thinking about the dude. I hope he goes and serves his full 8 years. And we're done talking about him. But I do have to ask you guys, do you think 8 is fair?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Kelly, what do you think?
I think it's long enough. As long as he doesn't get out earlier.
That's a long time. Even so, Bearded said he will serve 5 years. And I believe that. I think that it'll be half his time. So 4.5, 5 years. That is long enough for him to really sit in there and contemplate his freaking life decisions. And he has a long time. Just think of the days. Let's, 365 times 5. That's a lot of freaking days.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, too, and I think sometimes people forget this, but those sort of things follow you. Your record follows you around, too. So whatever his employment possibilities could be, a lot of those are going to not be available to him. And I don't feel sorry for the man because of it. Don't take me my tone to be wrong or whatever. Mm-hmm. But 8 years is a chunk too. I will say though, that if you don't think 8 years is enough, I could be talked into that too.
I see,
Because-
and that's what I was gonna say. I'm like almost in the middle. Like
Mhm.
it's enough, but is it? Because there's some people who really lost everything.
Yeah,
And
it's enough for me to not say, "Oh man, I can't believe they only gave him X amount of years." But I could still see all the lives he ruined. That
Yeah.
okay, yeah. If you want to say that he deserves more than that, I could probably be talked into that.
Same.
Because whether it was his fault that you invested or people overinvested, I don't really care. Whatever you were doing, you always you try to expect that the people that you're giving your money to are going to do the right things with it. Maybe the project fails, but you never really go into it thinking somebody's going to steal your money. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't invest with them in the first place. So,
And one thing that I do have to point out is, and honestly, I got like really sad today. It made me a little bit sad because it does feel like an end of an era. But TNG Systems put out this post, and it was just basically saying he's done his time. His time is done. He's put out all the information he could. He's seen this through. His decision to leave Twitter I understand it, because Twitter is very hateful. It's draining. It is so draining. But I think a lot of people need to thank TNG, because he is definitely one of them that got this ball rolling for them to start investigating John. And actually, he did a lot. He did a lot for the victims, for even the people who still had that inkling of hope, that this was going to be something. And me and him had a very crazy relationship when I was part of Safemoon, when I believed in it. I didn't want to believe things he was saying, but I can tell you he was one of the main ones who really made me open my eyes to what was going on.
Same.
He's a smart man. And I really think that he deserves the flowers, a lot of the flowers for this, because he was a really big part in getting a conviction. And
not only that, too, once it became apparent that he was 100% correct, did he have some moments where he had, I told you so moments? Kind of, but he also deserved it, because he took so much flack from people.
Oh,
I mean,
oh my gosh, from me, just me alone.
But not only that, though, but when he ended his Twitter existence today, if I know you did, but if people out there that haven't read it, go read it. It's several threads long, but in there you can see that the guy's a pretty humble dude. Like he even thanked people that were at one point not his friends, that actually he realized were good people, that they just got fooled too. So it's okay when we go through life to change our mind. It's okay when we get more information and our experience changes. It's okay for us to change our mind. And he saw that, and he was okay with people that had done that too. So yeah, kudos to him. I agree with you 100%. I also get what he's saying about X and how it is very toxic right now. Like, I get that, but we're going to just try to be some of those people that aren't toxic and kind of be something that people can let loose a little bit and have fun. At least Caleb is. Holly and I may not.
The world better calm down, because I can't help right now if I'm being toxic, because what I am seeing is not okay on any level, on any side. It's not okay. And if I can do anything, I guess it's use my voice, because I'm at where I don't know what to do. We see all this craziness going on, but really, what can we do? And you feel helpless. And the only thing I guess I can is use my voice. I don't know if it matters, but it's something, an outlet for me to get out all this frustration of what is happening in our world.
I promise you it matters to someone. What that broad reach is, we don't know. We don't spend enough money on analytics to be able to find that kind of stuff out, but it does matter to someone. But I want to touch on something you said that will kind of get us into a little bit of a different topic earlier. We're talking about the distractions and TMZ and different things like that. Did you also notice that this week that a private investigator came out that people are believing that like Kurt Cobain didn't actually kill himself?
Yes, I saw that too.
And then the Arizona kidnapping thing, with the Guthrie case. And I'm sure there's several other things. I believe all of those things sometimes, not all of them. Sometimes there is a thing that's actually called coincidence. Like coincidences still happen. Okay.
Mhm.
Not everything is a conspiracy theory. And I don't use conspiracy theory as a bad word. Okay. But
Yeah.
sometimes coincidences are real. But it is amazing to me that all the news outlets were completely like just and still to somewhat just entangled in this whole kidnapping story in Arizona when we had all of these things about the Epstein files going on and like live hearings and things like that. I think sometimes these distractions are a real thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I will date myself a little bit, but I'll never forget when Bill Clinton got impeached, and I believe it was like 94, maybe 95. I don't actually remember the year, but it was in the 90s. I can tell you where I was working, all these different things. But the thing I remember about it most was the same day he started doing missile strikes on, I don't remember what country it was. And that always hit me because the internet was around, right? But it's not what it was today. And I thought, well, that's a coincidence.
Mhm.
And then as my experiences change and I see more things, I'm thinking this has probably been going on for a really long time. Not just recently, like for a long time, different things. I mean, not to deep dive into it, but one of the big things about the whole 9/11 thing that the conspiracy theorists will say is that Donald Rumsfeld had reported the day before, and they were going to have a press conference on 9/11 about, I think, $1 trillion or something like that missing from the Pentagon budget.
Mhm.
It just so happens the plane flew into where all the records were,
Oh,
and
shit.
it never got talked about again until like 8 years later. Like
Oh,
when
wow.
people
I
kind of
had
finally
no
like settled down,
Mhm.
but the government never picked it back up. It was the people that started talking about it again. So I think
Well,
distractions are real.
they're
Too
100%
strong.
real. But I am starting to believe that conspiracies aren't conspiracies at all. They're
No,
actually happening.
I
And
saw a list that would take forever to read. Otherwise, I would have. I mean, it literally probably would have taken 5 minutes to read it of all the conspiracy theories that actually that are true. I
Mhm.
mean, the whole Pizzagate thing, I think we can say that
Mhm.
all that stuff's turning out to be like true.
Yeah.
And it's scary. I mean, I don't,
Yeah.
if that's true, what else do people maybe have a
Well,
tidbit of information about and they're trying to tell us and we don't believe them?
you do know that they have a document that was drafted and the day before Epstein actually died saying he was dead.
That's super weird too, isn't it? I mean, that's
Right?
his,
Like,
yeah.
tell me that. Like, what is happening? What is happening?
But let's take it the next step further. Okay. So during all this distraction stuff, we saw pictures of what appeared to be Jeffrey Epstein himself still alive, right?
Yes.
I'm sure everyone, or if you haven't, it doesn't take much of a Google search to find it.
Yeah.
And then what started happening was Community Notes said, oh, it's AI. And then it really started, whether it is or not, that really got me thinking, when we start seeing real things that we're not supposed to see in the future, are all those things going to get blamed on, oh, it was AI, it was fake?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
how are we going to know the difference? Because if those Jeffrey Epstein photos with him with the beard, in case you haven't seen, he's got a pretty scraggly beard.
According to Grok, they were real.
I know. So some AIs say, no, there's nothing about this photo would make me think it's an AI generated image.
Right.
Other people, Community Notes, Elon, get on it. They say it is. At some point, we aren't even going to know what's real and what's not real. So we finally get the inside information on maybe something we're not even talking about yet. 10 years down the road. Oh, no, it was AI.
Right. Well, and then it goes even
Okay.
deeper than that. It goes even deeper than that. I saw a picture that was part of the Epstein files that was a picture of a passport of Epstein's with a totally different name.
Hmm.
So how do we know? And there are like tons and tons and tons of unknown people in these files. How do we
Mhm.
know that these people aren't their alias names of so and so. Like it is a whole lot bigger than we even can wrap our brains around. I don't think we're ever going to get the actual truth about any of this. I would be shocked if any actual Americans that were, co-conspirators actually get arrested. I mean, as you can see, they're like, oh, so-and-so from, what a different country stepped down and this country stepped down and this one, but not one American.
Mm-hmm.
One that I've seen. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, not as of today, it has not happened. No. No, and with all that being said, too, I mean, it went down to even like Fortnite, like his Fortnite account was still active. And then they said, oh, no, somebody copied it.
Yeah.
How do we know that, though? Like, how do we actually know that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, how am I supposed to be able to know what is real and what isn't real?
Yeah.
Right.
And so when we get to that point, which if we're not already there, we're real close. What do you trust?
I don't even know anymore. And that's,
I don't know if there's an answer.
But I think that it's done on purpose.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
It's done on purpose because if we can, keep really disguising these things as AI, who cares what comes out?
Exactly. And if the powers to be are the ones that get to decide who's guilty and not guilty, they can always just say, oh, it's AI. Our experts say it's AI. Then what are we supposed to do? I don't have the funds to dispute that. Right. I don't have the power to dispute that. It's a really weird kind of slope that we're on.
Yeah. What's funny is I saw there was Mima had commented on this like fight in Turkey, like all their whatever their committee is called. I don't even remember. It's like partisan.
Parliament or something.
They were all fighting. There was like a big brawl. And Mima's like, maybe that's what we need to do here in the U.S. I'm like, hell yes. Like, I'm at the point where I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Well, as long as they're fighting for the right things and not pay raises and stuff like that, because we all think term limits would be a great idea. Well, who gets to decide that?
Right.
Them, and they're never going to do that. Like, I don't see that ever happening. It's like you deciding as a CEO of your own company that you're going to just take a huge pay cut and not get bonuses anymore. Nobody does that.
So it's funny.
Insane.
Rudy said Holly needs to build a bot to detect something as AI. I was a really big part of that. It's called Genie. And it detects scams from links, pictures. It'll tell you all about videos. Yeah. So Norton Genie, it's already built.
Yeah.
No shill. I'm not shilling, all right? Yeah. I'm not shilling.
But that's going to be another thing that's really going to be something that people are going to have to count on eventually because they're not going to be able to tell. And if it gets to the point where you just absolutely can't tell, then people are just going to sign off of X and Facebook and all those different things because what's the point of just confusing yourself every day? You'll stop watching the news. You will just watch things for entertainment. You will not pay attention to anything that should be newsworthy because you will never know if it's actually true.
Well, and the thing is I don't think that people truly understand that anything that you post on the internet, actually, one of the 3-letter agencies out there already knows. They see it. They can see it if they're, if they need to. So anything you do on the internet is not safe.
And most of the time, even though some apps will claim that what you send goes away, none of that stuff goes away.
So
Snapchat's actually in a bunch of lawsuits right now about that.
Because it doesn't actually go away.
No.
Nothing is deleted.
And then all of a sudden you see yourself on Google and you're like,
Yeah. And another thing that's really crazy is I was kind of talking to Mike D about all the files, and I said, go on there. Go on.
Mike D, and I'm about to get money.
Sorry, I haven't done it in weeks. I was looking for a reason that I couldn't find the button.
Did you know that when he went to search on his phone, and he just went and started, like, he clicked on a document, the DOJ was starting to download files off of Mike's phone.
Really?
He had to stop it. So when you're
Right.
searching those files, be careful.
Yeah.
Careful.
Well, of course they're going to want to know who's searching them. You know, I mean, the attorney general actually had a folder on her desk apparently that had all of the search results from the people on the committee. Now, people are claiming that this is a master chess move, whatever. We're not even going to talk about it. But if they can do that to those people that are on the committee, I promise you, you know, the Ring camera. Did you guys see the Ring camera commercial from the Super Bowl?
It is the scariest thing I think I've ever
Has
seen.
a company ever produced a commercial that ended up like tanking themselves? Because I think that commercial might do just that. Because they basically said, and they used the premise of the cute, sweet puppy dog that got lost. But oh, you lost your dog? We'll just turn on every camera in the neighborhood and we'll find it. And we find one puppy a day. And I was like, what? So you can just override? Like, whoa.
The scary one was, I think it's Alexa One. It's this hub, and it videos into your house and sees what you're doing and knows who is who. Look into it. That commercial scared the living shit out of me because I'm like, holy crap, they have access to radio into your video into your house and see what is happening.
I don't have any of those things in my house.
Was it Channing Tatum? It was a wife and a husband that are celebrities, and it like called out the husband and was like, oh, hey, so and so, look for that. It's called Alexa One or Alexa Plus. It might be Alexa Plus, but that is, I do not recommend that for anybody.
I won't put any of that stuff in my house.
Or Alexa gets hacked.
Yeah.
Even computers, like we, for work, we have to have this little camera protector.
I have one on mine. As soon as we're done with the podcast, I flip it down. If anybody ever gets on, they're just going to be staring at a black piece of place past.
Real shit. And you don't, like, who do you think is monitoring this? You think it's just average Joe, just whatever? No, it's our government.
And how are they going to start doing it and process it? Yeah, and they're going to be able to process it at breakneck speeds because of AI. And they can just type in a keyword and AI will bring up all the videos that somebody has been talking about that stuff. Yeah, if you got cameras and stuff like that in your house, put a cover on them when you're not using them. I actually, the microphone that's sitting right here, it's a kind of a big podcast mic. It's got a mute button on it because it's always on. You can't shut it off. So I just mute it when I'm not using it because I don't. And if I'm not going to use it for a long time, I just unplug it because I don't necessarily need anybody hearing what I'm talking about. Sometimes I have crazy ideas. Even when I'm just joking around and somebody takes that serious, I don't need a knock on my door.
Oh my gosh. No, Rudy said something to me. I don't even remember what it was, but she said something and then she followed up. I'm sorry. Please don't arrest me, government. I'm just kidding. Or the FBI. It was really funny because that's what it's like. It's like if you say something in a joking way, you better hurry up and say, no, I'm joking because.
But part of what makes that funny is because there's truth behind it, right? The funniest jokes there's some sprinkle of truth into the funniest of jokes. At least I've always thought that with comedians and things like that. Well, another thing that happened too, I want to get your guys' opinion on it. And then just got a couple things as we're approaching the hour mark is that the voter ID law passed in the House and it's now being moved to the Senate.
The CARE Act?
Yeah, it passed in the House. It's headed to the Senate.
Oh,
what do you think about that? Have an opinion?
So here's the thing is I don't know a whole lot about it, only the things that I've heard. And I feel like if what I've heard is accurate, that's insanity that I have to have my birth certificate, which has to match my name. How do you change your birth certificate?
Oh, you can. I mean, people made a big deal about that. I dove into it today. One of the things that I did find, one of the things, tell Sam to settle down. He can come live with me for a while. But one of the things I did find is that you can take your marriage license and that document like that will supersede and easily correct the name change on that. So if that's true, then that should be an easy fix.
I don't give a shit. I'm not voting.
Yeah, well, and I was just going to say, it's funny how this passes after you pretty much convince a third of the population that their vote doesn't matter and they're probably not going to show up
It doesn't
anyways.
matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
So, I mean, I think common sense says we need voter ID laws. I mean, we just let anybody vote? Like, that's weird. We don't do that in our church. If you don't go to church there, you don't get to vote on things. You know what I mean? Like, why would you let people that don't live in the United States or that aren't citizens vote? That's just weird. So I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I
people are
just-
making a huge deal about it.
Well, like I don't know everything in there, so it's really hard to comment on. I guess I better start reading.
Yeah, especially if it goes to this. If it passes, Trump will sign it. I'm positive of that.
Yeah, I see, and I'm kind of on the side of it. It should be, obviously it should be an American citizen if you know that should vote for an American.
I don't think
position.
anybody can argue that, right? That that part,
know.
I don't think you can argue against that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
does anybody feel like it's kind of not fair to us women if because we're the ones that have to go, and it's the women that change their names to their married name that
Yeah,
would
but
have to go and do this. Is
but-
that weird to anybody else? Because I feel like it's a little weird.
No, I just think that's part of it. If you're going to legally change your name and it's different than your birth certificate and a marriage license will do it, that's pretty easy.
Well, why doesn't my real ID work that they forced me to get?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
My guess is because that system's been compromised. That would be my guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe it's a little more difficult. They're making it a little more difficult to vote.
Maybe. I still think that as Americans, we can probably overcome that. I don't know.
But
Because
again,
I'm with you. I don't know every detail.
freaking voting. So
Yeah.
I did it once and it failed, and I'll never do it again.
But I will tell you this. I think this is another example of division, of dividing the American people. It's another thing they're throwing out there to try to divide people because
100%.
this is a hot topic. People are
Mm.
pissed. People don't want it to happen. Other people do. You're a communist if you don't. Whatever if you do. It's just another hot topic deal. I think really what it boils down to is we can all agree that voter ID laws, you should be an American citizen. What after that? I don't know, because unfortunately they can't ever seem to just pass one idea bills or laws. They have to put all this other crap in there to make it almost impossible for the average American person to actually be able to read the bill or the law. And in this instance, I've read things that they have put other things into that, and I don't know. So
Yeah, you know what? Let me get back to you
yeah,
next week, because I will do a little bit more research, because I don't like to comment on things that I just don't know. But
Yeah.
the things that I'm hearing, and it could, again, my algorithm could have
oh
some
yeah, I'm telling you that too.
I have to see something with my own eyes. I have to read it for myself to really believe what is in my opinion, to form an opinion on whether
Agreed.
or not it's good or bad.
And
So,
a lot of this just happened today, and that is also why. But I just wanted to know what your guys' thoughts was on just like basically the argument of, hey, is this like, can we agree that there should be some, like, you need to be a citizen, right? Because if you break down arguments, a lot of times, if you can just get to the base of something, we can all agree at some level of an argument. Then you can build on that and go, well, what about this or what about that? And then have conversations, have civil conversations about these things, because I am a guy that will change my mind if you give me the information I need to change my mind, right? I may also be stubborn sometimes and go, no, I see what you're saying, but that just doesn't feel right to me. And that's
Yeah,
okay.
no,
We can have different opinions.
yeah,
but-
I'm totally. I welcome different opinions, especially from mine, just because I'm not always right. I know, shocking.
No, we know. Not everybody in YouTube and Xland may know that, but Caleb and I do. No, so let me say another thing real fast too, that I've been trying to say this for a couple of weeks, and we've had so many topics that actually we really needed to talk about. I want to ask you a question, and then I just want you to tell me if you're okay with it or not, and if you, well, I'll just ask it first, and we'll go from there. So, got a letter from my wife's employer and it was about the no tax on overtime. Okay.
Mhm.
So what I remember being said was that you're no longer going to get taxed on overtime.
Correct.
Okay. Do you
Mhm.
know what that actually means?
No, I
Ah,
don't get overtime.
okay. I don't either, but my wife does.
I'm all pissed. I'm pissed about that. By the way. Hillary is
Well, this will make you a little bit less pissed.
okay.
So let's just, for easy math, say you make $10 an hour.
Okay.
So when you get an overtime hour, you make $15.
Right.
You're still getting taxed on the first 10. You are just not getting taxed on the 5. So it's
Oh,
not, yeah. So Trump and himself is being deceitful with some of that stuff. Unless I'm an idiot, which everyone I've talked to
Those
agreed
extra
with
hours
me.
are overtime hours.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the law is about the $5 not being taxed, not the entire 15. And the example of $10 an hour. I don't think most people may know it now because, like I said, I've been trying to say this for like 3 or 4 weeks. They may
Yeah.
have got a letter from their employer and things like that too. And my wife works for the state, so she gets, you know,
Yeah.
things you can trust when it comes to taxes, anyways. But I don't believe. Well, she doesn't work for the state of Missouri. She works for a different state because we live close to a lot. But I'm not going to throw that out there just because of the nature of her job.
Was it 8 or 9 states border Missouri?
8. Missouri's actually bordered by 8 states. Yep. But
What a jip. I feel like they're jip now.
I would agree with you because when it was first presented, even before it actually even got passed, I was pretty sure the argument was there would be no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, right? That's what everybody kept saying.
Right.
So they should
Oh,
be
Chris,
honest about that. Miss you too, Chris. But they should be honest about that. I feel like they haven't been honest about that because I keep hearing, oh, everybody's taxes are going to be different and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be great. And then I got that letter and it made me really dive into it. And I was like, well, that doesn't make that much of a difference anymore.
No.
Because it's like, it's still going to pay the taxes on the 10, just not the 5. It'll make some difference, but it's not going to be as awesome as what people thought. Another way that our government is deceiving us, I think, half truths.
How do you guys feel about the fact that the employees collectively owe over $50 million in tax?
I think it's perfect because who would expect it anything different?
But why? So if I don't pay my taxes this year, there is a probability that they come and get me and, you know, you didn't do this. I'm not going to go to jail. They're going to make me do it right and all the things. But how can I fight back and say, well, what about you? Can I see your tax returns? Can I see how much you owe? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black.
It
Like
is.
you're doing the same thing you're going after somebody else for doing. That is mind blowing to me. And if you really think about it, we pay taxes on literally everything.
Mhm.
Everything. You're not going to buy anything without paying some kind of tax, whether it's a state tax, a federal tax, freaking your city tax at this point.
Sales tax.
Sales tax on everything. You're going to pay. And so it's like, when are we going to get our money back for all that?
No,
No.
But
not going to happen.
I am hardworking, pay my taxes every year, all the time, but they don't have to.
So what if we just stop doing it? What if
I
we
don't
just
know. I'm scared. I don't want to go to jail. I'm
see?
scared.
And that's why they win. Because I'm with you. I'm going to pay my taxes. People say it's not actually a law, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm still going to do it. I don't want to be in jail. I have an irrational fear of jail, to be honest with you.
It's not
So-
fun, guys. It's not
Oh,
fun.
man,
It's scary.
that's criminal.
I'm only there for a night.
Yeah.
It was the scariest thing in my life. I never went back.
Yeah, well, that's good. They scared you straight. So
Yeah,
that is definitely weird, but I just think that's another example of, hey, we know this is what people really, really want. People will vote for this and then pull the rug. Oh, no, this is actually what it is. How about you just be honest with me in the first place? That's all I want.
Mhm.
That's all I want out of anyone, not just our politicians. I want that out of my wife. I want that out of my friends. You know what I mean? Just be honest with me in the beginning. That's all I need. Then allow me to have an honest reaction.
Mhm.
We owe that to each other as human beings, but People don't do that, and it drives me insane. So,
No,
all right.
I was shocked when I saw that they released that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Over $50 million. I was like, wow.
Couple
And
things
here I'm
before we go off the air here. So for anybody that may have noticed, and if you didn't notice, I hope you keep an eye open on Monday. So Project Milk Carton is how missing kids used to be on milk cartons, and they don't really do that anymore because we don't really use milk cartons, at least where I live. And so this is an organization. What's that?
At school they do.
Oh, do they? I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is an organization that's basically moved those pictures to the internet, and you can go search by your state. You can go to our profile. You can check it out. Go check out their profile. You can find every missing child in every state. Okay. And some of them have pictures. Some of them have a little bit more information than others. It's super sad to see the little babies that are missing. And some of them, it's a little picture of a little baby. And then that was the last known photo was like 2005. And I'm like, but we talk about all these things. And so it was a no-brainer for us to go, hey, why don't we just start sharing some of these photos?
Mhm.
So I don't want it to be a deal where people get like, you know how you just get overstimulated by something over and over and over again, and then finally you just don't pay it any mind. I will post them every hour of every day, but I'm afraid people just wouldn't pay attention. So on Mondays, we are going at 1:00 every Monday. We are going to at least share 2 of these missing photos, at least 2. When I get a little bit more time, I think I'm going to create a video and put like 100 of them in there. And then you can push pause if you want to, but I don't want it to be so, I want people to actually pay attention to it, if that makes sense. I don't want it to be something where it's like, oh man, there's an 8-minute video and I'm not going to spend, because people's attention span is not that long. Okay. It's just not. So pay attention to that, share it. It's not an engagement tool. It really is to get these pictures and these names of these kids. And most of them have like the city they were last seen in or whatever. And if you know anything, please contact somebody, because at some point somebody's seen some of these children. Yeah. And one of the things I'm going to try to do, and I don't know if it's fair or not, but I'm going to try to post the most recent ones, because I know in the statistics of the faster you can get those photos out there, the better off you are. You know, a 5-year-old photo, I still want to find that kid. I really, really do. But the odds go way, way down, and it's sad. So if you see it, share it. I challenge you to pick a day of the week in your state to do the exact same thing. If you do, we will share it. Like, let's help in ways that we can help that really doesn't affect anything but time. And I just think that's a great organization. Several of the founders have actually reached out to us since we've done it and beforehand. They've got some ideas. I'm looking for some ideas to somehow integrate it into the podcast. Just because it's such an important thing. You know, we talk about like the Epstein stuff. We don't know what happened to these missing kids. Like, we could be talking about the same sort of things at a smaller scale or even a bigger scale. Who knows? So you see that out there. We just ask that you share it, comment on it, whatever you got to do. Make your own. We will do the same with yours. But that's something that we can all control. So my thought is, let's do it. Let's just go. Let's just all get on board. Let's start sharing it. I mean, right now they only have like 3,000 followers. That X page should have like 1 million followers. If Kim Kardashian has as many followers as she does, a page like that should have millions of followers, and we should all be doing it.
Children.
What's that?
And this is to find our children.
Yes.
That's just, to me, I don't know how I would be able to handle I feel for every single person who has lost a child that got kidnapped or whatever the case may be. It may be an inside job with the family. You don't know, but the child is missing. And that's really what everybody needs to care about the most, is we should care about our children. I will always say this, they are our future. And so, you know, they're corrupted into this bullshit of what's happening. That's our future. That sucks.
at the very basics of being a child is innocence. None of these children deserved any of this stuff that happened to them. And as adults, we should be all over it. And I'm not preaching at you guys that are listening to this right now. I really am not. But for some reason, especially with all of the things that I've been reading in the Epstein Files, I'm just like, why haven't I done more? I'm talking to myself. Like, why haven't I? So I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing it. Reached out, started following different pages, seeing different things, trying to share, trying to like. So if you see that, that's what that's all about. There's no hidden agenda. It's just, let's find some kids. Let's find them. Let's get them home if it's at all possible. So,
Yeah.
All right. Before we go, I have a milestone that I want to share with you guys that I just realized today when I was getting ready for the podcast. 15 more videos, and we will have reached 1,000 original content videos on YouTube.
Holy
Wow.
crap.
That's insane.
Because I don't do it.
Well, it's all the recordings that we've done. I mean, it's just shorts and different things like that, but it's funny because it's on YouTube set up really weird. You can't really share other people's things. So it's all original content, and it's almost 1,000. We'll probably be 2 weeks and we'll be there because we'll break down some shorts and different things like that. But I thought that was cool. I was just going to share that with everybody. So thanks for watching, because
look at us go.
I don't know what I thought this would ever evolve into, but where we were at is pretty cool. And it's just a lot of fun. So we just thank you guys for showing up. I guess I say one last thing. We promised that we would share another tidbit about season 5. So last week we announced that we're going to actually be moving to Mondays. And I think next week we can probably come up with the date of what Monday that's going to be. But I wanted to tell you why Mondays too. One, it's not just a schedule ease. We feel like on Thursday, sometimes we are too far after the fact of things that have happened. And so being on Mondays will also help us be more like, we can talk about things that just happened over the weekend, especially when it comes to like a lot of big events are on the weekends.
True.
So it's like, I think that Mondays will just help with that. But one of the things that we're going to start doing, and we're going to give you a couple hints as we keep going on, or not hints, but just like tell you some of the new things we're going to do, is we're going to start bringing back some of our segments. And every Monday, we are going to have one segment. We don't want to, it's kind of the same thing that we talked about sharing the milk carton over and over again. We don't want to necessarily, oh man, here we go again. There's like whatever. It may be a Caleb's Choice. It might be a Holativity. It may be a Let Me Holla At You. It might be a taste test. It might be whatever. But we actually have some ideas for some new segments. And if you guys have some ideas for some new segments, let us know. But we are going to be a little bit more structured. And part of that structure is we are going to have one segment every Monday. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. But we're excited for it because Mondays allow us to do a lot of different things. And it allows us to be a little bit more relaxed, I think, too, because we're not rush. And we'll see what happens. But I'm excited for it. And we're only, I don't know, 6 weeks away, basically.
Yeah.
So crazy.
So insane. But guys, lots of crazy things have been happening in this world. A lot of crazy things. I know sometimes it feels like that we can't do anything about it, but you can love the ones that you love. Give them a hug. Let them know you love them. Be there for them. Because if you're feeling that way about things just being nuts, odds are the people you love are feeling the exact same way. So as our friends, as our family, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. As always, if you need somebody to talk to, our DMs are always open. If all of you DM us at the exact same time, it may take us a while to get down the list, but I promise you I'll answer every single one of them. But we got to remember we're not just people on an X screen. And I don't mean us, but I mean everybody in social media. We're actually real human beings. So let's treat each other that way. And I'm not saying that you don't already, but let's just all try to be better. And hug the ones you love. Let them know you love them. I mean, Valentine's Day is in a couple days. I didn't even realize it till today. Okay. So don't be me. Don't be Josh. Don't be Josh. Okay. Anyways, guys, can't wait to see you next week. Have a good one. We love you and God bless.
And be kind.
subscribe.